Hey, good morning. Here I am. I'm in my office. I'll show you a picture of it later, but just making a video. This is week 2, day 1 video. So it's the new year. This is the second week of the new year, and we are in 9 for 90. I'm focusing on 9 things I'm going to try to get better at, and if you guys are more than welcome to join along with me. For those of you who are joining me from Savannah, you might not know much about me, but you watch this video, you might learn a little bit about me every day. So today the title of this video is putting in the miles. All right, so if you don't remember, if you haven't watched any of the videos, I've done a marathon before a couple times in the last 4 years, and then I just kind of let everything go and I stopped running, mostly because I've been really busy with work. But you know, that's an excuse too. But I mean, it's just my work day in the restaurants starts at like 4, and 4:30 I get up, I drive somebody to work. Then I pick somebody else up, then I go to work with that somebody else. Then I'm working at 6 o'clock. I get out of work at 2:30, and then I help a couple other people finish up their work day, so then I'm out by 3:30. And then by the time I get home, it's been 10 or 11 hours, and I'm like, I'm not doing anymore. So the motivation level to get on the treadmill at that point or to go out for a run is very low. So, but it's still nobody but myself to blame. And anyways, so what I'm going to do this year is I'm going to try to get back on track. So that requires me, in order to do a marathon in 3 months, it requires a lot of work, okay? I don't know if you guys have ever run even a 5K, but one of the differences is that you can be in relatively all right shape and you can go out there and even walk or run a 5K with not a whole lot of level of fitness, all right? That's why the most popular race that's out there, 5K, is 3 miles. So most people, I'm not saying that's not hard, but I'm just saying that, you know, I remember the mile in school used to be hard for me, you know, and I had asthma and it was a big problem, and I dreaded doing the school mile, you know, whereas I had other friends that were in wrestling, football, they're like, mile, no problem. You know what I mean? So anyways, we're doing a marathon. There's a couple marathons I'm doing. One is a running marathon that I've decided to do from Savannah down to Tybee Island. It's 22 miles. And then in order to make it a marathon, I got to add 4.2 more miles somewhere. So I haven't decided where that somewhere is going to be. It probably would be nice to run up and down the beach. You know what I mean? So I don't really care. If I can find a 1 mile track, I'll go back and forth a couple times. But it's pretty flexible because I'm not doing it in a big group of people necessarily, though I am inviting everybody down to Georgia for that time, and we're gonna have a party. And it's probably not gonna be on April 1st. It's gonna be on the 30th of March, which is the day before my anniversary and 2 days before my running goal, April 1st. So as long as I hit it in that weekend, I'll be okay. But then this way I can kind of relax and chill out with friends Saturday afternoon. How long is it going to take? All right, it's going to take a while. My pace, there's people that can run a marathon in like 2.5 or less hours. Okay, that's a very fast marathon. All right, my pace, it takes about 4 hours and 4.5 hours. I think maybe it took me 5 hours the last time I did it. Okay, if you run a 10-minute mile, let's see, 10-minute mile, that's 6 miles an hour, right? 6, 12, 18, 24, right? So that's 4 hours and a little bit more, okay? About, you know, a little less than 5 hours. So that's if you run it the whole way. Now, if you do some walking, which I'll probably do, so I still about 5 hours. So my plan is to start very early in the morning, maybe 5 o'clock, maybe 6 o'clock, all right? Maybe as late as 6 o'clock, and by noon, it's done. So if you're coming down to Savannah, Georgia that weekend, know that if you want to sleep in and wake up at the end, and by noon, we're going to all meet up and have fun, all right? So what I would encourage you guys to do is, if you want to do some running, you stage yourself out. You say, I'm going to run 5 miles. You know, you can run with me too if you want. I'm a very slow runner, so you could, if you wanted to do a mile with me, if I had 26 friends that would do a mile with me, that would be very helpful. You know, if I had 10 friends that would do a couple miles with me, that would be very helpful. So anyways, but today we're going to talk about putting the miles in, not just in marathons, but in life, you know. So in order to do a marathon, like I said, you can't just jump into it. You can't be like, yeah, next week there's a marathon. All right, cool. Because your legs have to be conditioned. Your body has to be conditioned. You don't have to be super lean necessarily, though it helps, but you have to be in somewhat of a condition for your legs to be able to handle it. You know what I mean? And it also depends on the type of running you're doing. You know, my coach has done all kinds of stuff, you know, mountains and uphill runs. And I'll tell you what, one of the things he told me that I don't like, if you like everything your coach tells you, then there's a problem with the coach. But he told me, yeah, you know, if you're running on the treadmill, at least put it to 0.5, you know, which is the first incline position on the treadmill. I'd rather run downhill. You know what I'm saying? Not a little bit uphill. But he said that'll be better for you. So, but I do it. I still do it, even though it's been a while since me and him hung out. So I did see he liked one of my Facebook posts. So what's up, Greg? So if you're watching this video, you know, hopefully I'll do another one this year. So anyways, putting the miles in is the toughest part. Okay, so it's like not how fast can you run, not how thin you are, but have you put the miles in? So what I mean by that is I need to get to a point where I'm running at least 40 miles a week, no problem. Okay, if I can do that, then I'll probably be able to do a marathon. All right, and one of those runs has to be a long run. Okay, so, and probably some of those runs should be outside runs. So, which right now I've been the first whole week, and then today has been on the treadmill. So, my plan is to get outside by this weekend, which it won't be super warm here, even though it's Savannah, Georgia. It'll still be probably depending on when I run it. If I run it in the morning, which is what I want to run in, it'll probably be in the 40s still. You know, it gets up to like high 50s, 60s. Low 60 at the highest, but a couple days ago it was 75. So there's still some fluky warm days here, even though it's the winter. So let's talk about life. So in life, you got to put the miles in too. If you want something big, you can't just jump in and expect to be able to do it. You know, you can't just jump in and be like, I'm going to do this. You know, you can do that sometimes with some things. You know. But you can't do it with the big things. So what I'm trying to do here, I'm trying to make a move to Savannah, Georgia. I'm trying to make a successful move. I'm trying to make a business move. And, you know, so we spent a whole week putting resumes in. I didn't get a whole lot of, you know, we got some interviews. Tanya's got a lot more interviews than I do. But, you know, there's some hiccups and there's some problems that make certain interviews difficult to do. Plus our money is tight and stuff like that. I'm trying to get this business started. So we threw a bunch of money towards a place that we can use as one, as a storefront, and two, as a place to stay there. So we're out of the gross extended stay that we were at. I mean, it wasn't nice. I won't even tell you the stories because you won't want to come visit me. But let me just say that it wasn't awesome. But if you come visit me in April, we're not going to even be in Savannah. You're going to be in Tybee Island area. But there's beautiful hotels and stuff. And everywhere, you know what I'm saying? There's nice stuff everywhere. We picked the cheapest we could find for a week. So that's what we did. What else? So putting the miles in is important. So what I'm doing, last week I got 25 miles in. I'm still kind of recovering. I just got off the treadmill like maybe 45 minutes ago. So my body stopped sweating. I took a shower. But today I did 5 miles. And some people might be like, whoa, that's so much. And some people might be like, that's not enough, Mark. Which I feel like it's okay for me right now. I'm happy with it. I was just glad that I did it. And 5.2. So what I'm looking to do is that as I run it every day, I'm going to try to do 6 days a week. 1 day is a long run. Last week I didn't do a long run. I actually did 5 days last week, and I did 5 miles, an average of about 5 miles a day for 5 days. This week, I want to do an average of about like 6 miles a day with a long run of maybe 10 miles. Okay, so that's my I'm shooting for the stars kind of goal. Maybe it won't be as long as 10 miles. Maybe it'll be 8. You know what I mean? But it has to be more than 7. So my goal in the next week or so is to get up to where I'm doing 7 miles a day, 6 days a week. That puts me at 42 miles. And then I just have to make up another 8 miles on the long run. So that would be like a 15-mile long run, 7 miles a day. But even if I don't hit that 50 mark right now, that doesn't matter. What matters, again, the theme of this video, putting in the miles. You got to have the miles in. So I got to at least be putting in 30 miles a week, and with a goal of 50. So if I do that for the next 10 weeks, I'll be ready to do this marathon. I might not look like super sexy. If it depends how I eat. I'll tell you another, this thing with the fasting, the intermittent fasting, it's hard for me. I mean, I love to eat. All right. So, saying I can't eat for so many hours is like torture, but depends how bad you want the goal. You know what I mean? So, this week, here's some of my goals for this week. My plan is to get out there and do some VIPing, which means inviting people to class. I can at least do private classes here and small group classes. 2 is I want to see, I have a proposal out there with a martial arts guy about subleasing his space. 3, I want to get some more leads on an apartment. 4, I want to get some, like I said, VIPing. I think I already said that, but I want to get out there and invite some people to class. But I also want to get some, kind of hammer down a job. You know what I mean? I'm planning to go back to New York for a couple days at the most. Just pick some more stuff up and come back this way. So, that's another kind of a conflict with starting a new job. It's like, hey, thanks for the new job, but this first weekend you want me to work, I can't work it. So I'm gonna have to figure out when that is. I might not be traveling up on a weekend. It might be a weekday. Just depends the type of job. So anyways, that's all I got for today. So this is day 7 or 8. This is I believe it's day 8. Yep. Because right now I can just measure it by what day of the month it is. Because I started on the 1st. So this day 8. I've done 7 workouts. No, sorry, 6 workouts because I took yesterday off, and I'm doing okay. Food wise, I'm doing better, but I'm not doing awesome. The weekends I plan to do take off from the intermittent fasting, but I pigged out. I had ice cream, so much ice cream, not good. We went to like a country buffet. That was awesome too, but if I'm putting the miles in, it's going to show. All right, it's going to show. So I would encourage you guys, put the miles in your life, whatever it is, your goal that you want to do. If you don't put the miles in, you're not going to make the goal. All right. So that for me means if I don't invite enough students to class, then I'm not going to build a business. It's just like if I decide to get out there and invite 10 people a week because I keep making excuses, then I'm not going to build a business. I got to invite hundreds a week, like 300 a week. So I have a court appointment with child support in a couple hours. I'm going to probably lay low. I'm going to do some reading. And then after that, we'll see what happens. And we're going to get out there and start hitting my goals. So feel free to write to me, and I will talk to you guys soon. Peace.